परम जी देखिए, रोल तो आप कोई भी प्ले कर सकते हैं, लेकिन फिर हेमा मालिनी नहीं मिलेगी. It was an emotional outburst that, oh, why did you kill him? If you had not killed him, it would have been a hit. You are a hero, beheading a villain is never considered immoral. Yes, in the courts of justice, you should not take law into your hands or your feet, as the case was this time. The censor board should convince those members who have any kind of objection as to then what's the difference between something being presented nicely and something very crude. Today it would be almost impossible to convince half a dozen people to play these roles.
Ramesh ji, welcome to Screen. So it's 50 years of Sholay, as we all know by now. And the General Post Office also commemorated the occasion with a stamp dedicated to that. So we all know how much Sholay has contributed to pop culture, to the box office, to people's love for cinema in this country. But have you come across instances where it's also contributed significantly to the socio-political, image of India?
Well, not particularly, but definitely it's always in the air. It's always something comes out either in jest or in, but everything is obviously in appreciation, and the language is Sholay. The language is Gabbar's. The language is Salim Javed's. So it's part of that whole creation that we're all very proud of.
In these 50 years, what is it that you've, in your rewatches of Sholay, what have you learned about your film that maybe you did not realize back then?
First of all, I've never rewatched.
Oh, really? Oh.
When I make a film, that's when I see it maybe 100 times, 1,000 times on the edit, in every way. I do see it before I start, and I see the rushes and I see everything. But once I've seen it completed and finished, and once or twice at the theatre just to check if all the sound and picture are being reproduced correctly, then I don't watch it again.
Is there a reason?
No. I've done my bit. Now it's for everyone to watch.
So what if they invite you to watch the restored version now?
I have been to certain portions of it, so it's okay. When I see the whole thing, I'll comment on the whole.
But you are going to rewatch that.
I'll see it once,
Yeah.
yes. What difference it has made to the restoration is, after all, a restoration of the original. It's not a different film.
Yes. Going back to when you were making Sholay, when you were planning to make Sholay, you had worked with Salim Javed in Sita or Geeta.
Ji.
But did you have the confidence then that they would be able to, make this film which is mounted so high and which is so big in scale, which is an epic? Because Sita or Geeta was a comedy for most part.
Sita or Geeta, for what was asked of it, it gave
Yeah.
the return accordingly. It was presented accordingly, and I think it was as wonderful an experience for me as Sholay was. For me, each film, when I'm making it, is always, I put everything into it. So I was happy with that. And of course, this is a much bigger film, a bigger canvas, a bigger, huge, big screen, 70 mm
Yes.
stereophonic sound. So yes, everything was bigger. But because of the kind of film it was, an action film set in the outdoors, and so it was justified to have that. Or again, Sean was similarly a whole different platform. So give your best and hope and leave the rest to the audiences.
But you had confidence in yourself, but did you have confidence in the writers that they'll be able to pull off such a script?
Of course.
Yeah.
Why would they not be able to? I mean, if they could deliver in Sita or Geeta, why would they not be able to deliver? Surely. I mean, writing is about characters. Characters is about settings in situations. Now, Gabbar's character, if they created Gabbar's character, who could have created it better? So let's. Yes, we worked together. We worked hand in hand, and I think, along with the technicians, and of course, one cannot forget the contribution of all the actors. I mean, each one has delivered a marvelous performance. And whatever you do, you may write anything, but if it's not brought on screen with actors like that, and with their performances, it makes all the difference. Yes.
And Salim Javed's name is synonymous with Amitabh Bachchan as the angry young man, especially in that decade. And by that time, when you were making Sholay, Zanjeer had already released. Diwar had also released before Sholay the same year. Was there ever a concern after that, oh, Bachchan is not the angry young man here, so he is completely opposite? Was that ever that it will?
He was not opposite. He was a quiet man.
Quiet, yeah.
So in that sense, he was not like Dharmendraji, who was a flamboyant character. He was a subdued character, but he conveyed everything with his expressions. It didn't have to be as boisterous, except in the songs. I mean, particularly Dosti.
Yeah, those.
Otherwise, the lighting of the lamp and all. I mean, who else would convey but Jayaji and Amitji that kind of a relationship? Silent love and appreciation, admiration, whatever you term it. Keeping the distance because it's the right thing to do, and feeling the feelings they felt. So it was what I wanted was conveyed by them beautifully. Go ahead.
Speaking of Jayaji, I thought she was perfectly cast because I knew that you spoke about how people were asking you why you've cast her, and you said that because it's the silence that she's able to convey with so much of force and so much of subtlety. But was it difficult to convince her? Was she on board?
Yeah, do the role? No, I think she had a certain faith in my abilities, and then she was cast opposite Amitji. So she knew and she understood the canvas of the whole film. She's an intelligent lady, so she understood that this was something different, this was something nice. And her moments are her moments. And nobody can take those away from her. As his moments are his moments, Dharamji's moments are Dharamji's moments. Basanti is all over. I mean, and of course, Sanjeev Kumar and Amjad Khan. And
so many others.
Even the real little role actors, they performed so well that they conveyed what needed to be conveyed very well.
Yeah, what I really loved about Jayaji's performance was that, or how it was graphed, that initially we see her as a silent widow doing about her job, but then we see the flashback and we see how full of life she was. So did you shoot those portions earlier than these ones, or how did you explain to her that this is what you were before, this is what you...
She knew that.
Yeah.
Those scenes were there.
Okay.
that they would come, but you see her as the widow first, and then when you go into that background, you appreciate it all the more.
Yeah.
That she was such a boisterous little girl who was prancing around and full of life and full of joy. And then the unfortunate happened, and she had to. So, in a sense, her Sanjeev Kumar's character, his revenge was for her as well, and she knew that. And she was as angry from inside as she was soft and subtle, and so she conveyed all those. And the main silence between her and Amitji, of course, that was conveyed so beautifully by both of them.
Similarly with Hemaji, she was the leading lady, played a double role in Sita Aur Geeta, and she has said that she was initially a little hesitant कि बहुत सारे लोग हैं मैं क्या करूँगी, and what did you tell her to come for, so that she came on board?
I said, trust me, this character will also stand out. Yes, it doesn't have, it's not centered around you, but you will be a very important character. You don't worry about that. And then her highlight, in that sense, the character is there throughout, but her highlight comes in the end, when she dances on those hot and uneven rocks, and along with the glass. So that was the height of her character. As she was not only boisterous, she was very and passionate about her romance, but she was as giving and as strong when it came to giving.
As expressive.
Yes. जब तक है जहाँ नाचूंगी. So she did her role brilliantly, and as did everyone, and very happy that everyone at the end was satisfied. That
Hemaji also said that what she loved about Basanti was that she was a self-made woman, self-employed, and did not need anyone except Dhanno to carry her through, which is also what reflects throughout the film. But there are so many smaller characters as well. Asani ji said that when you were explaining the role to him, when you and Salim Jawad when you went to him, you gave a Hitler reference. So where did that come from?
one had seen that kind of thing in the Western films, and one had heard about Hitler, but to do a caricature of Hitler became a nice turnaround. So Salim Javed and me, when we sat on it together. But that's what the spirit of the whole thing was, working together and creating something that the satisfaction comes to everyone when something nice comes together.
With Mr. Bachchan and Jayaji and Dharamji and Hemaji, did these real life romances really help in translating that on screen?
I think even if there was no real romance between them, they would have conveyed everything equally well because they are fine actors. But maybe the actual happenings did bring on an extra dose of reality to their feelings. But I think as fine actors, they would have done that anyway.
There's a lot of talk about the climax of Sholay, and not just how the Thakur and Gabbar bit, but also about how in the initial days, I think you were planning to reshoot the climax with Mr. Bachchan's character staying alive, Jay staying alive. So what was that phase like? You did shoot it?
Yes.
So what was that phase like? Why did you not end up using it?
It was used. What we shot was used because the censors were not happy with the original end.
With the death of Jay also? With the death
No,
of
no,
Jay?
no.
Okay.
Not the death of Jay, but the
Thakur
finishing Gabbar, which I'm not sure whether it was for the best or not, because even the way the censors finally left it was enough to convey what was in, except for stopping it for the final blow, as you call it, with the foot. But you do know that that's what happened.
Yeah.
So the impact is still equally good, and of course the full satisfaction would have been if he did actually. We would probably never have seen that again. I would not have shown a completely destroyed face, but it would have come onto camera in a way that it would have conveyed everything. So I think, all in all, what they did was, it was the emergency. We couldn't argue too much at that time. And they did say, and I said, look, I have tried my best not to show too much of gory violence. I have been, whatever action I have shot has been done with a touch of sensibility and class. So you don't, but sir, the way you have done it has more impact. So I said, now I should not make it well, because
to satisfy you.
in their heart of hearts they felt it was right, but they had to also do something. It was the emergency. Otherwise, see, they would have got flack, and much more if they'd not done anything. So ultimately one compromises where you feel that overall it will be okay.
That original ending is very satisfying for a revenge drama also. But even now it's being restored, and if it releases widely, do you think that there will be like a section, because now there's so much wokeness, they would object to, okay, but it's still a extrajudicial killing. So do you think, in terms of your moral compass, where do you stand?
My moral comforts were, if you behead a villain, you are a hero. Beheading a villain is never considered immoral. Yes, in the courts of justice, you should not take law into your hands or your feet, as the case was this time. But yes, I think a movie maker has a right to convey it his way, and if he's doing it well and doing it with a sense of not just the purpose of the story, but also a sense of it not being gory, or the climax not. The action is action, blows are blows. The horses riding, galloping at speed. It's all part of good action. So I think it should be, everything should be weighed in the context of what comes on screen. So I think from that point of view, a maker should have that liberty. And the authorities, who are now far more appreciative of that aspect of it, they're also worried, because then people will, there will be a hue and cry, and how this was done, whether it was the first time a little sexual thing was allowed, and there was such a big controversy on it. I think, who was it? Shabana and
Fire.
So these kind of things, but even there, they were bold, but they kept the standard of the film was so right
Yeah.
and it was conveyed so beautifully
Hmm.
that they had the right to keep it the way that they wanted to keep it. Otherwise, it would not be a satisfactory way of going about it.
Hmm.
That I'm always very touchy about is you should let the film, if you feel overall and you have a big group of people watching, we all feel, and the censor board should convince those members who have any kind of objection as to then what's the difference between something being presented nicely and something very crude.
Yeah.
So you have to appreciate that and give that allowance. If somebody else does the same thing and does it in a
Crude way.
crude way, then yes, you have the right to say ki either you reshoot this and do it properly. That kind of
But did you also reshoot the part where Jay's character doesn't die? Because initially there were talks once the film. No. But there were plans.
there were no.
Okay.
There were a lot of there was a lot of criticism, but it was not criticism. It was an emotional outburst that, oh, why did you kill him? If you had not killed him, it would have been a hit. And they were trying to
Happy
say
ending.
initially the reports were mixed, and they had those, and this not mixed actually. Reports were always good, but what came out of theatres and what came out of the pen of critics at that time was that it's too much. And I think it all settled down, and ultimately everyone conceded that something well done is well done.
Was it also because Mr. Bachchan had become a huge star by then that they didn't want a star to die?
Who didn't want?
Critics or audience, I don't know.
See, they tried to say it's not working because the audience is not happy with his death. But that's the very reason they're emotionally moved. It's because he dies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there would be no takeoff for the final surge of revenge from Dharamji's character.
Yeah.
He dies, his best friend dies, and he takes off and finishes everybody. So it has to be.
Yeah. Mr. Bachchan also expressed at that time his desire to play Gabbar, initial desire. Do you think it would have been a very different film had he played Gabbar?
Look, there's no question that a fine actor, when he takes over a role, would have done it wonderfully. It cannot be denied.
Yeah.
But you look back at it now and say, can you see anybody else in that?
As Jay. As
Gabbar. Amjad Khan
Yeah.
fit in and in the way that is so good. And Amitabh Bachchan is so good as Jay.
Yeah.
So why should there be any kind of feeling that even Sanjeev Kumar felt I should play
Gabbar.
Gabbar. Dharamji felt, oh, Sanjeev Kumar's role is, the story, entire story is his. Should I play that? Or should I play Gabbar, the arch villain? It's very colorful and the dialogues are very... So, and then in the end, of course, I said, Dharamji देखिए, रोल तो आप कोई भी प्ले कर सकते हैं, लेकिन फिर हेमा मालिनी नहीं मिलेगी. You won't get him.
Yeah.
So I think he was convinced that this is fine for me.
I think that's the sign of a great director also. How do you convince everyone? How did you convince?
No, but
yeah.
I mean, his scenes were so wonderful.
Yeah.
Him
So
going on the
memorable
tank and his, I mean, I can't say anybody else in that.
Did Mr. Bachchan also take a little bit of convincing to play Jay instead of Gabbar? No.
We all, everyone who heard the script, yes, felt the same thing. I should have played Gabbar or this and that or Sanjeev Kumar's. But each accepted and did it with total conviction finally, and the result is there to see.
Right. After all these years, after Sholay, in these last 50 years, or till when you were directing, did you feel that that the gold standard of Sholay will always chase me, that it will always be compared to that film? So how did you direct a new film with a fresh approach?
I never felt weighed down by that. Yes, expectations of people cannot be changed. They will. That made such an impact that I can't tell the people not to feel what they felt. That was their natural reaction. But I think a lot of people later have told me, a mother came to say a young son had seen my film 20 times. And I said, oh, here goes again. So she said, not Sholay, Shan. So that gave me the satisfaction that, of course, compared to Sholay, the figures, the box office was not of the same, and the impact of the entire film was also not. But today, I've read a lot of reviews that keep Shan also on a pedestal and says it's one of the finest films of that era. And Sagar is its own love story. Shakti is powerful drama. Sita and Geeta was a fun film.
Yeah.
So all together, I have tried to do a different film each time, and the fact that it all worked makes me happy that I was able to change genres and be able to deliver.
Yeah. Do you think Sholay can be made today?
There's nothing in this world that can't be done. Won't be easy, but it wasn't easy then.
Well, but what do you see as the hindrances today?
Getting a cast together in today's day and age where the actors they were always very important and they had their own egos. But today it would be almost impossible to convince half a dozen people to play these roles. So,
Is that also why you don't direct anymore?
no, no such thing.
What's the reason?
I should feel motivated, and I might. I still might. Who knows?
Till you worked with Salim Javed and then they separated, why do you think was the reason behind their films not working towards the end or their separation? Like what? Because they were a force to reckon with for
Absolutely.
2 decades. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess somewhere that balance worked beautifully. And they have admitted it themselves also. That together they were a force to reckon with. And they did good work individually also, but not as impactful as what they did together.
Till today we see so many tributes to Sholay, where where filmmakers, I think Amol has put out a poster. I'm sure that every filmmaker has, gone on a staple diet of rewatching that film. Is there any tribute by a filmmaker or something else that has stayed with you?
I guess the ultimate was Mr. Satyajit Ray. And he said, when he appreciated the film and I guess being in the position he was in, the world recognized, and not for nothing, he has done some brilliant work to get that kind of sign off for him, or from him, for me was quite a...
What were his words?
Uh, now you got me.
Not exact, but
I think a complete cinematic experience was the kind of, and he has never spoken about other films. So to come out with that kind of line is, it wasn't all dramatic, but having said that, it's a lot for him to say. And for me, yes, at that point in time in cinema, I was very touched and very warmly full of emotions. What else can you want?
finally, we've seen Sholay get unofficially remade, which didn't turn out well. But do you think that now it should be just, not touched? It should, there should be no remakes, no spin-offs, nothing like that.
In today's world, you can't stop all that.
Well, you have the rights.
Ultimately, the lure of money takes over. It goes into business hands. So they will use it to maximum exploitation. So far, it has not. And I hope whatever happens to it is done in the right way. That's all I can hope for.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.